I am going through the first difficult phase of an otherwise amazing relationship. So I started dating my partner 4 months ago. She was a single mother with 2 daughters and I was a single childless bachelor. However, I do want to have children, which was something we have discussed and both want. We have even openly discussed marriage. No issues there. Our relationship was founded on very loving grounds and escalated quickly. We ended up falling in love very shortly after dating, which is something that neither of us had really experienced at this level and speed. Once again, no issues there, I'm just giving these details as context. Everything has been going amazingly and we have both communicated openly with each other. Our sex life has been amazing as we are both extremely attracted to each other. We enjoy the same shows, food, cooking, etc. We have yet to have a fight or even argument. Although we do have some different interests, they do not have any pull on our connection. One personality difference between us is I am pretty extroverted and social while she is very introverted. When we first started dating, she had only gone out to a bar once in the past 2 years and she gave me plenty of warnings that she sometimes can be a hermit. But, one of the things she really fell for me about was I was the only person she always wanted to have around as much as I have been. Last weekend I noticed she was getting irritable about several different things, not to me. She had a family event that I was unable to attend and doesn't do too well in gatherings. So upon returning was very low and not affectionate like she normally is. I have been staying at her place, almost, every night. We each have our own places but I stay there because she has young daughters. On Monday morning we both left for school and work and things seemed fine. She even asked if I was coming over again later. But then a few hours passed and said she needed some alone time. I respected her request because I care a lot about her and know she has been feeling a little overwhelmed with school and her kids. I didn't how long this was going last and now we are on day 5. I'm not a clingy person and I have a lot of friends, family, and hobbies to keep myself busy and happy. I just didn't expect that this would go on this long. We have been communicating this week but I haven't seen her most of this week. My worry is that we won't return to form like we had before. I have never loved anyone like I have with her and she feels the same about me. It breaks my heart to potentially not be able to carry on what we had. I have been through many long-term relationships and this had this as its signs all over it. My questions are: has anyone experienced this sort of situation and had things return to form? What should I expect when she does want to open up again? Comment. Well, first of all, way too soon for you to have even met the kids, and that's not just my opinion but the opinion of professionals. Next, sounds like you two are spending an inordinate amount of time together which isn't sustainable for most people, especially an introvert. Sounds like she got overwhelmed and lost her rhythm and peace. Seeing each other 1 to 2 times a week when she doesn't have her kids would be reasonable, which might also mean only seeing each other every other week depending on the custody schedule with the father. I think you just moved too fast here, man. Seems kind of love bomb on both of your parts. You're right. I'm a single mom that's 31 and I have 7-year-old twin boys and I only see guys I'm dating 2 to 3 times a week. Every night is too much. I'm an extrovert and I wouldn't want to spend that much time with a boyfriend. Gotta spend time with the kids too. You barely know this woman, there's really no way to predict or guess what's happening here. Leave her be. If she pops up again, listen to her carefully and see where she is at. But give yourself a deadline that if you don't hear from her in X number of days, you'll let her know it's over and move on with your life. Story 2. I accidentally yelled at my girlfriend. Disclaimer: English is not my primary language, there may be a few grammatical mistakes. I've been dating my girlfriend for a little over a year, no big problems or arguments between us until yesterday. I have a good job and she's expected to gain as much or more money than I do in the next few years, but she was still studying up until a couple weeks ago, so no job yet. During her childhood she had an abusive single mother, who lashed out on her, yelled and sometimes hit her when she was just a child. This has led to my GF being very sensitive to this kind of stuff. We have been planning to move together in the next few months. And if things went smoothly, maybe eventually getting married. Since she has no money due to being a student until a couple weeks ago, we had been thinking on buying an apartment, and sharing expenses, but the initial economic burden would have to fall on me until she gets her degree and can start working. Now a few days ago, I remember I had taken a small loan to help my sister with some payments on her house. My sister has paid all of it, so I had forgotten about it, but it appears on my debt record since it still has a couple payments pending. I've been having for a long time trouble sleeping, went to a doctor and had appointed a polysomnography, meaning I had to get admitted into a hospital, connected to a bunch of cables and have a night of sleep. This was 2 nights ago. After the exam, meaning yesterday, I had planned to go to the bank to ask why they were taking so long to approve the loan for the apartment, but after sleeping like crap on the clinic, I overslept when I got home. I woke up, my GF was on the gym, she wanted to have lunch together but I had made an appointment at lunchtime for the swimming pool. Since the gym is near my house and the pool is not, she offered to take me there, but in the way she was a bit annoyed I had made my appointment at lunchtime and, understandably so, because I had overslept and didn't go to the bank. Then as we got to the pool, she was getting more and more annoyed, I could tell. She usually is very talkative but she was absolutely silent on the way. I asked what was wrong and she said she was mad because of the loan I had taken for my sister. I told her it would most likely not be a big problem for the mortgage I was asking to buy the apartment. She then said it was because my sister was taking advantage of me. Keep in mind I have not paid a single penny of that loan with my money, it has been paid completely by my sister. Since we still had some time to kill before it was time for my swimming session, we went on to pick up her mum from work. When her mum got into the car, she realized something was wrong. When she asked why, my girlfriend immediately said she was mad because of me. So her mum asked me what happened. I was getting mad at this point too, and started telling her the details, just so I did on the last 4 paragraphs, but right as I was getting started, my girlfriend speaked over me, louder and said okay but tell the whole story on an ironic tone. She did this loudly, she normally speaks loud but this annoyed me, I felt as she was interrupting me by yelling. So I got actually angry and yelled back, told her to not yell over me and that I would not tolerate to being interrupted, that if she was going to be interrupting me and we could not have a conversation then I would get out of the car and speak things later. I then explained, calmly, to her mum the situation. We got back to the swimming pool and I got out of the car. I was no longer that mad and told her to tell me if she still wanted to have lunch together when I get back. Now after I left, she had a panic attack. She has been crying non-stop in her house. She said she was scared of me, that because of how I reacted she thought I could hit her, and she was thinking that maybe the relationship was not worth it. She told me I should go to therapy for anger management. I asked for an appointment and have one next week. I'm not really sure I need it but will do it anyway. Now I don't know what to do. I really do love her and I would never hit her. But I lashed out to her and now she feels unsafe with me. We have barely spoken this last 2-4 HRS. For what she has told me, she has been pretty much just crying in bed since. I have been in a shit mood and been doing pretty much the same minus the crying. Luckily I didn't have to work this week. I haven't had any problems comforting her before, but how can I comfort someone when I am the problem? Ironically, today I got a call from the bank telling me they approved the mortgage. Comment. Did you accidentally yell at her? Or did you yell at her? Does she feel insecure with you, or was she scared of you and thought you might hit her, and had a panic attack, has been crying in bed since? You are not responsible for her childhood trauma or her trauma response. If she truly believes you would harm her then she should break up with you. But if she thinks she overreacted then she should work with a professional therapist on her emotional regulation, trauma response, etc. But this isn't really your problem to solve. I am someone who is very sensitive to yelling. If anyone yells at me for any reason I would feel unsafe. I think that if she was speaking over you, and you got so annoyed that you yelled at her, immediately, it feels like an overreaction to me, which would have made me feel very scared too. Especially if you were able to immediately talk calmly to her mom afterwards. And if you did that in front of her mom, you probably embarrassed her so much too. If I were her, I probably would break up with you. Yelling at your partner like that is never justified, at least in my book. I'm not saying that I believe that I am right, or that she should break up, just that that's what I would do and that I understand how she feels. Story 2. I can't forget about my ex-girlfriend. What should I do? I've dated this girl for like 2 years and she's from another city, so basically we were just texting and it just felt real. I've never felt love in my life except with her. I've loved her more than myself, more than anything. It sounds stupid, but it felt so real with her, even if she's like 6/10, but I think her personality that attracted me. Anyway, we've met one time and it was horrible. BCS, I suck in talking with girls behind the phone. I'm good, but in real life I can't make it. Just started throwing random sentences until finally I went home. After that we talked like for 2 months or 3, and then she started getting angry over some stupid shit I tell her. I felt like she was just waiting for me to do something stupid to make it as an excuse to break up with me, and it happened. She blocked me and told me that I'm holding her back and she want to start focusing in her life. I said fuck it, she chose that thing. I ignored her for like 4 months. It was hard for me to forget her, but I tried. One day she followed me Instagram. I didn't follow her back instantly. I waited like 4 hours just to not look like I need her. When I entered Instagram I found her unfollowed me. Don't know why, but anyway. She made her account public. I saw her pictures, started to miss her. But I saw a story that she put of a guy in her Instagram and I knew quickly that there's something between them, but it was just some doubts. MF looks like me in terms of the goatee, beard, the face, except he's black. Time goes until the last 2 months she sent me a message to check on me because something horrible was happened in our country. Started talking a little bit, felt heard her voice and my heart starts beating. Saw her pictures again. I left her on scene, and when my birthday came in like a week after we talked, she's the only one who said to me happy birthday. Anyway, I thanked her and left her undelivered again. Followed each other in Instagram and started viewing her stories, and my thoughts were kinda right. She posted that guy in her stories like 2 times. The second time with his face, he get a new haircut, and she laughs at him and put it in her close friend. I was in the list. Then I thought she's probably dating him, plus he's from her city, means there is a big chance that they see each other. Anyway, I don't know why the fuck I've written this whole shit. I'm just here to know what should I do. My brain tells me that she doesn't love me anymore and she's with that guy. My heart keep telling me to get back to her, which I will not do because she's the one who left me, but I just can't forget her. I swear I keep telling myself to, but nothing changes. Whenever I walk I hear someone say her name, I remember her. Whenever I see some girl she just look like her, I remember her. I became obsessed with her. I listen to music and I relate it with her like WTF, that's why I need your help guys, I'm going insane. RN. Story 3. I want to be taken care of by my boyfriend. I know this sounds like I want to be a housewife or something, and no hate to that, but it's more an emotional want, I think. For some background, I have been taking care of myself since I was really young and started becoming financially independent at 16. I even took care of my older sister growing up because I could cook and she couldn't. My mom and sister were pretty severely mental ill, and my dad seemed to just avoid the situation by going on hunting trips. My parents then got divorced when I was 12 and I stayed with my dad and my sister stayed with my mom. My dad still wasn't around much, so I was alone. I got really good at being independent. I moved out at 18. My dad telling me I would fail and crawl back to him, but I never did. I held down multiple jobs while being a full-time student till I got tired of college. But I kept working and never missed a payment on rent or my bills. Had some sketchy relationships, but you come out stronger or whatever. Back to current day, my BF and I have been together for over a year, and when I got screwed by some roommates, his family allowed me to live with them early on in our relationship. Yes, he still lives with his family and hasn't really had any desire to move out. Red flag number 1, I know. Since living together, I have been in charge of budgeting. He doesn't see the point of it but lets me do it. Appointment reminders, prompting to clean, even together, planning things, etc. I've tried asking for help or pointing out that he just doesn't take the initiative to check the calendar or clean, but he just says he's forgetful. To be honest, I'm tired of it. My love language is apparently acts of service, and yet, maybe doing a chore I really don't want to do would be nice, but I just want him to take something off my hands and make it his responsibility. I'm starting to think he needs to just live on his own without his parents or me before he can really grasp the weight of what I'm doing for us. Not to mention I've been doing it all my life and want someone to do it for me. The last straw was we were talking about a joint bank account for a while and decided to get one, so before it was all confirmed, I was the one filling out the forms and finding all the information needed. I wanted to go over expectations more clearly than we had before. Turns out our expectations were incredibly different than what I thought we'd previously discussed. We've been sharing some bills for a while and helping each other out where it's needed, but it always ends up evening out. Again, I figure it out through budgeting, so I assumed we could just pool all our money, split all bills, which we've been doing in a really roundabout way already, and split the rest however we decide. It could be 50/50ths, or since he makes a couple dollars more than me, it could be 70/30ths, 60/40ths, etc. But upon discussion he said he would have to see how much I have in bills and debt because he had only been helping me out of necessity up until this point and wants all his money for his own spending because I'm not his responsibility. Meanwhile, in the past he had always told me I could rely on him and to never worry about money because my money is your money, and I've said the same. I've paid hundreds towards his car, bills, etc. when he didn't have a job for a few months. I've been struggling job-wise, so he's been helping me just the same. But after hearing all that, I was mortified that I ever thought it was okay to rely on him. And ever since I have no trust in being able to rely on him because I do everything for us anyway. The money itself I don't care about, it was the way he said it. I guess all of this is a really long-winded way of saying I'm sad I can't rely on him when all I've ever wanted is to feel taken care of. I don't want to be responsible for us both all the time like I am. I want to at least sometimes feel like he's taking responsibility for us rather than me doing it like I have my whole life. I just want a break, and I know you could get that from the people you love. But I'm mortified by the fact he encouraged me to take a break from work to work on my mental health, but then decided I'm not his responsibility. I'm embarrassed I ever thought it was okay to rely on someone else. He's not exactly the most emotionally intelligent either, so even when trying to explain all of this to him he gets defensive like I'm attacking him. I just don't know what to do, but I've completely mentally checked out since all of this. I just want to be taken care of. I know this is really long and probably confusing because there's always more to the story than what can be put into words. But I don't know how to continue in this relationship when the willingness to care for the other is one-sided.